Hey everyone, I was thinking as I was doing. I know it's bright and early, at least for me it is. I got to get Jeffrey off to school, which Jeffrey's working on getting our son ready to go to school. This is, I've been working, typing up some things this morning. I'm going to get a program together because there's a lot of women who don't appreciate their husbands, and I've been one of those many a times. Just ask Jeffrey, he'll gladly tell you. I'm sure he would, or maybe he wouldn't. I was thinking this morning of different things of how we treat other people, because we don't treat other people the way we should all the time, and you shouldn't should on yourselves. So I'm going to start with, I'm a victim of believing the world around me. I'm a victim of believing that husbands and men in general are evil. I'm a victim of society and how that works. I'm a victim of CPS. That one's a given. That one's a fact. I'm a victim of life that's been uncontrolled. I can keep saying I'm a victim to all of these different things. Or I can choose to change my mindset, to change my life, to change the emotions. In CBT, one of the most powerful things you can do is change your thoughts to change your life. Changing your thoughts will change your emotions. So if you're saying, I can't control that I'm angry. I can't control the fact that I hate my mom. I cannot control the fact that I hate my husband. My husband, he just took and he will not change the diapers. He won't take care of the kids. He treats me like garbage. He does all of these horrible things to me. My mom does it too. My dad does this. And you can keep blaming other people. You can keep doing that all you damn well please. You'll get exactly the world around you that you see. You will get that. Believe me, you will get it. I was there. I've been there. And then I was hearing about other wives losing their husbands. And it scared the crap out of me is what it did. And I know they didn't mean to, I know they didn't mean to do that. I know that, these different women. I know that's not what they meant. But for me, it was God using them to speak to me about how I'm doing that to my husband. How I have hurt him, I have broke him down, I have tore him down at times. Subconsciously, unconsciously, not realizing that. And when I've done that, it hurts the children. And you may wonder, well, how are you hurting your children? Your children are half your husband. Your children are half of the other person. They always will be. You cannot remove their DNA. When you say something bad about your husband, what part of that child are you saying is bad? I grew up in a household that wasn't the best, but you know what? Hey, you did too. I know you did. You could say, yeah, my household was this or my household was that, but I'm sure there's different things in your household that made you the way you are now. And I know that because I know that 88%, that 95% of you is because of where you grew up, how you grew up between the time you were conceived to the time that 7 or 8 years old. I'm an expert in the mind. And everything that I've seen, everything that I've heard, I've unfriended a lot of people or I've unfollowed a lot of people because when they talk about men, they don't get it. You create your reality. You see men as bad, every single man out there will be bad. Right now we have this issues with people that I was thinking, why would any man want to be a woman? I was thinking of that. I'm kind of getting a little bit off topic, but I got to thinking about why would any man want to be a woman? It's because how us women treat men. Us women are responsible for how we treat men. We need to be able to build them up, treat them better, love the husband. We need to treat men the way we want to be treated. Us women, we go out and we buy something and we're like, woohoo, I'm happy. I got what I wanted. And the man's sitting there like with umpteen million tools and we can't figure out why man wants another tool. I mean, like, you can't figure out why on God's green earth he needs another wrench or another ratchet. You can't figure out why he wants another one. And it's like, but the man can't figure out why you want another purse or why you want more shoes. They can't figure that out. But yet, they can't figure out why it is that you see men as bad. You can't see that until you realize that at any given time, you could lose them. It could be their very last breath that they take on this planet. And I had told my husband this morning because I was thinking in the shower like I always do. I got done and I told him, I says, you know what? What would happen if right now, today, we both started loving each other? Like as if it was our last. How would our relationship be different? I mean, to think, didn't they? How would your relationship be different if you treated your husband differently? Because if you knew today was his last day, if you knew your husband wouldn't wake up this morning, and for some wives, their husband didn't wake up this morning, and for some people, your husband just got killed today, but you still have yours. You're still complaining about him. You're still treating him like shit. You're still thinking, well, he didn't do the dishes. Oh, he didn't do this for me. Oh, but Robin, you don't understand. Maybe your husband does change diapers, but mine won't. Okay, but he's still doing something else for you. He's still doing something else for you. We have to build our husbands up, not tear them down. And I'm guilty of that. Just like us women, we tear each other down as far as when it comes to children. This one's my favorite one. Okay, so my child does this and this and this and this. Great for you. My child does this and this and this and this. Okay, great for you that your child's an honor student. Great for you that your child doesn't have a disability. Perfect that you're not on disability. That's absolutely wonderful. I'd love to hear it. And at the same time, you're putting that guilt onto the other person that they have a child with a disability. You're putting that guilt onto that other person that they can't take and do what you do. Because I've had a lot of people tell me that what I'm doing, I've got too much responsibility. I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do it all. And here I am doing it because you're putting your world out onto me. There's people that live in this world that think it's scary or dangerous. My world hasn't been that at all whatsoever. My world has been all the choices that I've made. I'm learning to see them. I'm learning to recognize them. I'm learning to do these different things. And the most powerful thing that I realized is, why do men want to be something they're not? Or why women do is because they're not being loved by those around them. They're not being loved. And I'm not talking about the parents necessarily. I'm talking about the relationships that they're in, the way the world treats them, the way society treats them. It's a man's world. It's all of these different things. And that's not true. Our perception is our projection. And this NLP that I am learning is absolutely amazing. It's been a huge eye-opener for me. So much, in fact, I've gone back and watched the videos a couple times. Just because it's like, if I were to treat my husband today, and why I've just thought is that, I've been thinking about it because, like I said, I see all these posts about people that I've unfriended or unfollowed because of their posts, constantly dragging men down, saying that men, all us women want is to be loved and held and hugged and all that. But then you get pissed at the exact same man that you just said you want them to love you and hold you. You get pissed at him. You get angry at him. You post about it on Facebook. You do all these horrible things. And he just wanted to be held and loved by that man. And he did that. And then here you are getting mad at him because, well, you don't want to be loved by him because you're saying bad things about him. It's really backwards thinking. We do that with our kids, and then we wonder why our kids are self-entitled, why they've got these issues in this world. And they're just like, oh my gosh. it's one of those cycles. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I was writing up some things. I have yet to write my book. I'm working on it. Man, I really got to write a book. But I've been thinking about this, and I thought, you know what? Us women need to learn to appreciate our husbands. And if you're not married, that's fine. You still need to learn to appreciate the other half that takes care of you. You still need to, because you know what? Someday you'll wake up and you won't be there anymore. Someday you could wake up and your husband, how is he going to feel about you? And at your funeral, what's your husband going to say about you? Mine probably won't say much because he doesn't talk much. So I probably won't get much out of mine. But you know what? We've really got to stop treating men like they're evil. Like I said, I've been guilty of it. I grew up in a household that wasn't the best, and there's still times that I still hear it about men that, oh, men are babies. I've gotten that from a couple women that still do that, even though they're in relationships. And it's like, no wonder why you got problems in your relationships. If you treat your husbands, and in these cases, their boyfriends, like they're not worthy of your love, but yet you want them to love you, but then at the same time, they're not worthy of your love, well, then you're sending a mixed message. And you know what? When I thought about that with my husband, that if I treated him today like it was his last day on earth, and I would never get him again, he would never wake up, I would never have my husband. That made me think about it, and it makes me cry when I think about it. That if today, if I truly love my husband, I would treat him the exact same way that I want to be treated, and I would live my life with him as if it was his last and he would never wake up again. I would treat him better. And so I'm going to put a class together. Like I said, I'm working on some things because there's a lot of women that need to treat their husbands better, the boyfriends better. Because when you start changing your thoughts about them, because I'll tell you right now, I grew up where women were sex objects. And that's the way I grew up, that women were sex objects and all of these other things that I grew up with. And you know what? That's not true. Men don't want you just for sex. They don't. So the women that are listening, the women that hear this on the replay, society tells you that men want you for sex, and society tells you all of these things. That's not what they want. If you tell them that you love them and you want them to love you, let them love you. How many times has a man taken, he may not open up doors for you all the time. They do in the beginning of the relationship because they're after you. They're after you because they want you. However, maybe they took and made their side of the bed this morning, because maybe that's what your man feels like doing. But he made the side of the bed this morning. Or maybe he got your car not full of snow. Or maybe he did something else for you this morning. Maybe your husband did something else, like pour you a cup of coffee. Or in my case, mine watches our kids. And, for me, when it was my mom that told me this. I try not to say too much. That, well, he doesn't do anything for the business. You're the one that does all the hypnotizing. You're the one that does, all the paperwork. You're the one that does everything. And then it's like, you know what? Yeah, I do all of that. I set the appointments. I hypnotize people. I help people, and I empower them. I do all of these things. But he has the most important job. He's watching the kids so that I can do this stuff. Because without him, I can't do this. I can't do this alone. So what is it that your spouse is doing? That if it was his last day on earth, what could you do differently today and for the rest of your lives? What could you do differently? How would your relationship be different if today you treated him like it was his last day on earth and you'd never get him again? How would your relationship be different? I'm going to leave you with that. I know this is very thought-provoking. I know it is. Because I know you've never thought about that before. And don't even get me on how that mom guilt works, because yeah, I was going to buy into that, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to sell myself that lie, because I get to do a lot of things with my kids, and you know what, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to buy into that lie. I'm not going to buy into the lie that my husband can't cry and my husband treats me like crap and all that. I'm not going to buy into that lie. Because you know what? My husband's doing the very best that he can do it with what he has, with the skills he's had, the life he's had. And that's all you're doing too. So as a woman, I tell you this right now, build them up, build yourself up. Relationships change, lives change. The second you start changing your thoughts, your emotions change. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And if you want to be in that class, I'm going to be starting. I'm going to do it online, obviously. But if you want to be in that about loving your husband, you'll see it because I'll post it. If you want to be in that, just let me know. Send me a private message or just comment below. Just let me know, because I think it's something powerful that we need to step back and realize that us women, we want to change the world. We want this transsexual, this issues to stop with our children, the world around us. It starts with ourselves and how we treat men. It really does. We need to treat them better because they're worthy just as we are. And in the end, you take your last breath on earth, you're going to go to heaven or you're going to go to hell. You'll get one or the other. I guarantee you'll get one or the other. And you can't buy your way in there. It's impossible to buy your way into heaven. So really think about how you want to treat other people today. And you all have a great day. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Believe me, I appreciate it way more than you know. I may not always say it. I may not always look at or act it or whatever, but I really do appreciate everybody who does watch my videos, even when they go long. I do appreciate it so much, more than you know. And God bless you for watching. And take care of your husband today. And husbands, you take care of your wives today too. You know, us women, we go through hormones, we go through a lot of damn things, go through childbirth, and go through all of these wonderful things, horrible things, and then, at the same time, it's like, you gotta love us too. We had children for you. We have children for ourselves too. There's no greater love that you can show another person at times than to be able to have a child with them. And if you can't have children with them, there's still other ways that you can build that person up. There's still other ways that you can love that person without having to have a child. Just know in the end, when you take your last breath, what are you going to do differently in your life? What would you have wished you would have done differently? Focus on that today. Live today like it's your last day on earth, and spend it with those, knowing you did the best you could with what you have, with the tools you have. And if you want more tools, you know where to find me.